time was winding down, but it really hit me like I was driving yesterday and, just kind of thinking about the game last week. I was sitting there and really realizing it was my last night game without it. So, it all comes to the end, but it's going to be a ride for sure.
What do you think will be biggest for you in terms of the emotion when the final seconds tick off and you're in the middle of the field and everybody's bailing around you, or will it be the last trip down here?
It'd probably be the last second kick off, Cause I run down the hill. I haven't ran down the hill as much this season, just because I kind of galloped down there, man. It's a little tough, steep hill, man. So, probably just with the crowd gathering and everything of that nature, because it is such a special deal. It is enjoyable the way that it's set up. A lot of teams kind of keep it blocked out from the fans and everything of that nature, but for us to be engaged with them and them getting a chance to participate with us, it's always been probably one of my most favorite memories about it.
So talk about that. Coming down the hill can be precarious. So you've been dealing with some nicks and bruises. Are you? Is it just okay, everything, or are you just trying to take the fire to hold yourself together to get through the season?
Oh no, I'm good. I've done some things to take some measures and make sure that I'm healthy as possible. And the coaches and the training staff do a great job of that as well. So whether it's like practice goes, or treatment goes, we're doing everything as hard to make sure that I'm healthy, that we're healthy. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Do you take just a minimal amount of snaps this week in practice?
I think it just depends on how the coaches are feeling. I practiced a little bit yesterday, not a whole bunch. I can practice, but again, I don't know, it's really up to them and how they feel about it.
The shoulder doesn't feel bad, the collarbone doesn't feel sore right now or anything like that?
No, it doesn't feel terrible. It's still a little sore, but I think that's just the nature of it. So again, it's still a little bit bruised, but treatment is taking care of that.
Coach, when you said that your senior class really transformed this program, do you feel like you guys have transformed the program?
No, I have talks with our guys and the Danny Dozen crew and all of that, and we feel like we've had an impact on it for sure, but there's been more matches and more things to kind of roll in with that. So we feel like we're a big part of it, but at the same time, it's been a total effort from many people, and we're just glad to be a part of it.
You came in here in January of 2009, and you were healing up from surgery and all that. Did you ever think you'd be sitting here right here holding 52 Clemson records, a couple ACC records, considered one of the best quarterbacks not only in this school's history but the ACC's history? Did you ever realize that all those things would happen?
That's something that I thought could be, a realistic thought for me. That's kind of what I told the coaches. That's kind of what I expected and what I wanted. But I think, as you go through, the red shirt and then, the red shirt freshman year is kind of, you start to get doubts and things of that nature. But you don't come in with expectation to do all that. All you want to do is go out there and just be able to compete at a high level. Division I football is one of the highest levels next to the high level of football. And, for us and for playing for a university like Clemson, you just kind of want to come in and just help impact the program if you can.
What were those doubts in 2009 that you had?
It's just like, say you redshirt, you're such a highly recruited guy. And this is what I talk about to our guys as well, the guys that redshirted. Because, if you don't have the right group of people that you're talking to, you can kind of start to build out. I remember sitting there with Rod and Meeks and, Bryce, we were all together. And, at one point we were all talking about transferring and things of that nature. It's just the freshman thoughts that you get. Same way with some of the guys that we have as freshmen now, that the best part for me is being able to kind of reflect back on my thinking and my career and kind of help push those guys through a little bit, because it's more challenging than people think it is. To be playing football all your life and to get to college and then redshirt and not play at all. And even though you're a part of the team and a part of the program and a part of the scout team, you don't feel like your role is that significant, which it really is. You really make an impact. But you don't understand how important it is until you get to the point where you're an older guy, you're playing. So it's important to make sure that all these guys are appreciated and that they all have a hand in what we do.
Who were some of the older players that kind of took you under your wing, took you under their wing?
It was Branch and Cavell Connor, Jarvis Jenkins, those guys. And I mean, we still keep in frequent contact every day. So these relationships are more than just here at Clemson, and they'll continue forever.
I think there are 7 guys left from your class now. The guys have graduated, medical, and that sort of thing. When you have such a small class, does that create more of a bond for you guys, these seniors that are still here now?
Oh, for sure. I think it does. And, the relationship gets stronger, the older you get. Because you come in, and although you're on the same team, it's almost like a competition when you first get here. Who's going to be the first to play out of this class? Who's going to make the most immediate impact? Who's going to be the star player? But I think as you get older, you start to understand that, everybody's role is pivotal. It's important. And, you start to appreciate that person beside you. You start to appreciate those classmates. Because, again, it's more than just a football relationship. Football is just a small part of life. It's a minimal part of life. But the weight that it carries is so heavy. And, I mean, you just got to enjoy it, man. You got to enjoy the relationships while you can, because they're going to be gone before you know it. You don't know who's going to keep in touch, who's not going to keep in touch. So it's important to kind of garner the relationship right now.
What's one of your favorite memories here as home games?
Favorite memories of home game? Let's see. Getting a chance to clinch the division against Wake Forest a couple years ago, and it definitely wasn't a pretty win. We won in the last moments of the game with a field goal by Catman, but it was like somewhat of a milestone for us, because it's not something that we had done. We hadn't been to the championship game in a long time, and even though we had one of those big games earlier during the year, I think that was a little bit sweeter because, again, it proceeded to carry us to things that we haven't done. So I think that's somewhat of a changing point and a turning point, and that was probably one of my favorite memories.
As your dad has a military background, what does this week mean for you?
It's always special, and again, I mean, you watch the news, you see things on TV that you can only fathom. You don't really understand. You would like to put yourself in their shoes, but you really don't know. So I mean, you hear the stories from Rodriguez. I hear the stories from family members, and again, it's something that you can only imagine. So for us to get out here and get a chance to play football, a sport, a game that we love, is awesome. And I think it's always important just to not only make sure we represent it right for this game, but just the way we live and just appreciate the life that we live and have.
Taj, how much time do you and the other seniors and other upperclassmen spend this week talking to the younger guys about, the Citadel's a real opponent that we have to get through before? I know it may be exciting to think about what's after that.
I don't think it's something that we have to talk about too much. I think maybe in the past it's something that we would have had to talk about and make sure that the focus is there, but this is a pretty focused team. We're always dialed in. We're always engaged in what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do. And, I think that's the difference with this team. Again, maybe early in my career, this is something that we had to literally call a meeting and sit down. But for us right now, we're just trying to go out there and compete to the best we possibly can. We're still looking for that game where we can just break every record we can as offense. And, we still got opportunities this season, so we're trying to make the most out of every game we have.
So you're not thinking about South Carolina?
Not at all.
When you got hurt on Thursday, did you think that might be your last college game ever?
Yeah, potentially. I probably was a little bit more dramatic than needed to be, but the thoughts definitely flashed, and in my mind, I was like, this can't be the last game that I play here at Clemson. So, fortunately, everything worked out, but I had guys on the team was calling me names. And it was like, oh, you're soft. So I was like, nah, man, I was really hurting down there, So it was important for me to come back out there, make sure that they seen I was fine, and, we laughed about it at the end of the day.
Knowing that it can be taken away from you that quickly, did it give you kind of a renewed sense of going out there and playing, even more appreciation for being able to play this game? Oh,
yeah, for sure. But at the same time, playing this game, you risk your body every time you step out in that field. So, again, say if it was, one of those career-ending or season-ending things, it's not something that you regret because, again, it's something that in this game is somewhat expected, you know. And injuries are just a part of it, but at the same time, you know, you would hope it wouldn't end in a fashion like that, especially when you're so close to accomplishing what you want to.
Tajh, what's been the difference these last few weeks? This offense keeps gaining more momentum, and, you know, assuming that you'll be healthy enough to play well enough on Saturday to keep this offense in the right direction. Are you really happy the way it just seems to be steamrolling these last few weeks?
Oh, for sure. I think the guys are playing really confident, really comfortable, just having a lot of fun. You know, guys are out there, and we're just focused on each play at hand. There's no thing about the next drive, the last drive, or anything of that nature. We're only trying to accomplish what we can at that particular moment. And I think you see that with some of the guys, you know. I think you see that with the O-line, the camaraderie that they're having. Whether it's Gifford right tackle, whether it's Battle, whether it's Shaq, I think all those guys are coming in and trying to do their absolute best. Martavis is playing some of his best ball. Mike Williams is doing an outstanding job. So all these guys are just coming together at the right time and just playing their best football. And again, I think anytime you have a football program, you envision yourself playing your best ball at the end of the year. And I think that's what we're doing right now.
Did that loss to Florida State perhaps help you guys relax? You talk about having fun and everything. Did losing to them sort of just take off the pressure and allow you guys to go back being your normal personalities perhaps?
Not necessarily. I think it put things in perspective about, you know, just going out there and just playing your particular game that you're capable of playing. I think for us it was more disappointing because we just didn't play a game where we felt like we gave ourselves a chance. So, you know, from then on, it's like, you know, do everything in your power to make sure that you're in a position to win the game. And if you don't put yourself in that position, that's the most disappointing thing about it. So I think it just put everything into perspective a little bit more.
You ever catch yourself at times since then saying, man, I wish we had another shot at him, or things would be different, or do you have to kind of blank that totally out of your mind?
I mean, you know, you always think about it some way, and it's like, man, you know, we wish we could play those guys again. You know, for whatever reason, you know, the championship isn't set up that way. But at the same time, you know, we're solely focused on being the best team that we possibly can be. Right now, it's 11-1, so we're trying to do everything possible to make sure we can establish that and finish that way. And again, you know, as disappointing as it was, you know, you just got to look back at it and just let it go.
Have you allowed yourself to look ahead to next week?
Not at all. You know, if I allow myself to look ahead, then, you know, people are good at reading body language, reading demeanors. I think that's something that we all, you know, kind of figure out, you know, the older we get in life. But, you know, if I carry myself a certain way or act a certain way, those guys are going to do the same thing. So, you know, how I am, how I act, how I talk, and it all reflects on me, and it you know, pretty much translate to those guys. And, you know, we can't afford that right now. We don't need that. You can be beat on any given Saturday, and we just need to go out and play a good game.
Josh, you maybe tried to talk about this guy a couple weeks ago and I think now it's allowed because of financial agreements, but what do you think about Sean Watson, what he can bring to this program now, and maybe you watching him from afar next year?
You know, I'm just excited. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for him. You know, I get a chance to host him this weekend. And, you know, I look at that guy as like a little brother. Just a really humble kid, really good personality, just super intelligent, and just love the type of person he is more so than all around just the football. So, I mean, I think that Clemson will be excited about the type of person that they're getting coming in. You know, so, I mean, again, he's coming in early. You know, we got some guys that can play it right now. Those guys have proved they can play it right now. And I just think it'll be an interesting competition for sure.
Tajh, a lot of guys in your position kind of consider, you know, as the face of the franchise, all this media stuff, dealing with fans so much, being the team spokesman, kind of a necessary evil. What is it about this side of what you do that you seem to embrace and enjoy it so much?
Because it's not often that it happens. It's more so like a rarity in life that you get a chance to represent something, especially for a good cause, for a good purpose. Be the representative for a university. And, you know, some people embrace it, some people don't. You know, Charles Barkley liked to look at himself as not a role model. I think otherwise. You know, I just feel like if you're in a position where you can make an impact, I think that's the greatest gift in life, you impacting people. So I look at my role as a representative, as an ambassador, and I take it wholeheartedly and try to do everything I possibly can for it.
Has that maybe been the most rewarding thing when you look back on it, even more so than all the records, the wins that you are in this position?
By far. You know, you got people coming up to you, and not talking about football, but just the type of person you are. Just the impact that you may have had on their life, the impact that you had on their kids' life, you know, your religious beliefs, all those things that come together. And, you know, again, those are going to be the things more remembered, more so than football records and things of that nature. Again, I mean, I think, you know, in Clemson history, I go down as whatever, but at the same time, I think that people will talk more so about, hopefully, the type of person I was, more than just a football player.
Is there a person, or has there been a thing that's going to be the most compelling thing you'll remember in that role? Something that you've encountered?
Not necessarily, because it's just an accumulation of things. Just the group and the body of people, just the support from the university, from the fan base, just the appreciation that is mutual that I have for them, that they have for me. And I think that's something that'll be the most rewarding thing. I grew up in like different areas. You know, was born in Georgia, grew up in, moved to Norfolk, grew up in Virginia Beach, went to school in Hampton. So, but for me right now, Clemson will always be home. I feel like it's some place that I can always come back, and that's just kind of the most important thing to me.
Anything else? Okay.
Appreciate you guys.
You know, Clark says